Clippers have the rebound. To Kyle Kuzma. Calls out of bounds. Last touch by Kyle Kuzma. Kawhi Leonard sizing up Cousins. And look out.
When the ball's in his hands, we all knew what was going to happen.
Los Angeles, they have it. James, they go down to Davis. And look out. Big finish at the rim. Feed the big fella. Point to the passer.
So good when you get everybody involved, in particular your bigs. You get them going, they'll run the court faster, and guess what? They'll set harder screens because they're actually in the game.
Kuzma against George. To Cousins. Short jumper misses. Anthony Davis pins it.
That kid can block out the sun.
Knocked loose. This will get out of bounds. Last touch by Cousins, so it'll stay with the LA Clippers. Both coaches hitting the reset button. Fresh legs coming onto the floor. Anthony Davis. Huge block. Oh, the hustle keeps the ball in play. To Beverly. Fires the three. Can't connect. Danny Green to Cousins. Slams it down.
I don't think I could do that on a 5-foot rim.
I can, because that's my only choice. Leonard to Williams. Leonard to Williams. Lou Williams. First couple didn't go. That one is true.
No doubt about where that one was headed.
LBJ with it. Bad pass there. Clippers have it. Layup still. Those are the types of shots you always strive for.
In the paint, you need to finish. Just like that.
Across the timeline comes James. Less than a minute to go in a tightly played first quarter. That's usually one that he'll knock down.
You see, this is something that everybody has, but some people choose to use it or not. I'm glad you choose to use effort on getting around those screens.
Basket's good on the follow. Way to stay with it.
Attack mode isn't a switch that you can just turn on and off. He needs to do more of that. We need to see him penetrate, get into that lane, and create.
LeBron James, 2 for 2. That's what you want.
It looks like he's using his ball handling to feel the game out. I know it looks like he's just playing around out there, trying to get the fans going. That is true, but he's also finding his rhythm.
And too much contact.
Yeah, you got
It's just a
him doing
blatant
it.
foul. Maybe he's trying to make a statement.
Look at it.
Leonard. Well, their first three, and they're right back in within a possession in this first quarter.
Well, I don't want to live in the past, but if you got a couple of those to drop earlier, they could have had a nice lead. Now, we got a dogfight.
Yes, and the foul, and a chance at 3 coming up.
Ed, you ever bail out of something at the last second? That's what I saw right there from the defender. We call that no man's land. They weren't really committed to getting out of the way, committing a hard foul, or taking the brunt of the contact.
Free throw good as he completes the three-point play. The lead is up to 6. We're through one from Staples Center with the Lakers on top. Jay and I return to the City of Angels after this. You're watching the NBA on EA Sports.
I try to do my best to do it right. I do find myself unintentionally sitting at times, and then when I recognize it,
Second quarter set to start. This is what we like. This game is certainly in the balance.
I really like what I'm seeing. Both teams look engaged. There's some trash talk.
Okay, after I get down here.
I think this has a making to be a big-time game.
The drive right to the basket. A drive, but he can't get it to go. To Caldwell Pope. And a throwdown. Jay, we're seeing more of the same to start the second.
It's called settle for more. Just because a defender gives you space doesn't mean that you need to take the jump shot. Keep attacking the rim. It will open up eventually.
Williams to Harkless. Driving right to the basket. JaVale McGee swats it.
Blocking so many shots only gives your perimeter that much more confidence to really apply more pressure.
Tough shot and nearly a chance at a three-point play. No foul.
Well, when you play for each other and not just for yourself, that's when great things happen. You essentially lose yourself in what the team is trying to accomplish. It's called unselfish basketball. And there's nothing more beautiful than rewarding your teammate with a nice pass and letting them finish for 2 or 3 points.
Caldwell Pope. Can't connect. It's no good. To Beverly. To Leonard. Oh, what a finish. No whistle. That was old school.
It's easy to become mesmerized when you watch a player who can create off the dribble. We call that dancing. When you allow a player to dance with that much space, that's Prob City.
Trying to cash in. And a putback slam.
It's not every day that you see a 6'9", 265-pound freight train coming down the lane. You probably want to step out of the way.
A drive to the basket, but it somehow stays out.
And this happens all the time in this league. Sometimes offensively, you're tired. It's one of those type of nights. You combine that with the fact that the defense is hungry and active and contesting everything, that's why shots aren't dropped.
Timeout called here by the Clippers as they'll talk things over here in the second quarter. Time to adjust. Both coaches making changes on the floor. Leonard to George. Has a chance. Knocks it down from mid-range. Jay, when you break down Paul George, where is he at his best?
He needs to be engaged. He needs to have the ball in his hands. He needs to be needed. And that's the biggest thing for Paul George. When he's the guy offensively, he makes those clutch shots. It re-engages him defensively. And that drives him to be the best version of Paul George there is.
Leonard to Paul George. To Leonard. Has a look. Wide open. Too easy. You can't give him that look.
I don't know what halftime evaluation will be worse, the ankles or the bruised ego.
James to Cousins. Lets it fly from long range. Good contest. Made it tough for Kuzma.
Great contest by the D, but I want to see the coaching staff call the same exact play the next possession. Get that offensive player the ball. Let him prove that it wasn't the D. It was more in his own head.
Anthony Davis. Terrific shooting. He's 4 for 5. Who compares to AD offensively?
We would be doing a disservice if we compared AD just to one player. He's an amalgamation. Think about Tim Duncan, Kevin Garnett, Marcus Camby. Throw them all into a blender, you get Anthony Davis.
Davis to Cousins. To the rim. Lays it up and in.
Let me tell you something that nobody will ever talk about. Did you see him slow down right before he was about to go up? That slow change of speed, that slight change was just enough to throw the defender off.
Here's Leonard for 2. Knocks it down off the step back.
You see, you can't actually get mesmerized by the ball. You actually have to focus on the dribbler's belly button. I know that may sound cheesy, but trust me, he can't go anywhere without his core.
James to Danny Green. Lets it fly from beyond the arc. Danny Green can't get that one to go. Defense all over him.
Just because you're an elite shooter doesn't mean you need to shoot the ball every possession. Maybe give a head fake, crack into the defender, get to the free throw line, see the ball go in the hole.
Los Angeles has the basketball. LeBron James. Can't ask for much more. He's perfect. 5 for 5 from the field.
This offseason, I heard so many voices, even that of the great Shaquille O'Neal, talking about how LBJ needed to submit his own legacy. Well, for LeBron, it's not about chasing external accolades. It's about hunting your own legacy, and that's to be the greatest of all time.
And Jay, they called the foul.
A simple touch foul.
Oh, I thought I had it.
That's his first personal foul. Team foul number 1. First foul in the final 2 minutes.
The drive, right to the basket. Anthony Davis with a piece.
This game is all about playing mind tricks on people. The offense is more worried about getting their shot blocked than they are about actually making the shot.
Time expires to end the first half. So far, it's been all Lakers.
And that concludes our halftime report. Thanks for joining us, and see you again after the game.
Beverly into the front court. His guys down 11. Baseline drive. The shot won't fall. Jay, Magic and Kobe each won 5 titles. How are you going to judge LeBron James' legacy in L.A.?
LeBron James wins 1 championship in L.A. That means he will set himself apart. He will have won 4 championships in 3 different cities. Now, that is polarizing for some fans. That still does not take away from the overall greatness and the legacy of LeBron James.
Kawhi Leonard. Jumper's good.
The one thing we know for certain in this league, it doesn't matter how big the margin is, you can always put together a run and get back in this one.
Davis. Add 2 points to the board.
This may sound cheesy, but sometimes you just need to sit back, get a tub of popcorn, and just enjoy the show, because that's what you're watching right now.
DeMarcus Cousins with the block.
Here's one of the biggest secrets as we move into this new age of basketball, especially in the draft room. You have to draft players with size and length. That's the biggest deterrent for any team offensively.
And Paul George good on the quick release there.
I mean, does he have eyes in the back of his head or what? I get paid money to watch and study this game daily. Even I didn't see that angle.
Kyle Kuzma, offensive board. DeMarcus Cousins, he's now 4 for 6.
Hey, one of the things I hear all the great teams say in the huddle, they say 1, 2, 3, no mercy. Now it's time for you to go even harder in the defensive end.
Driving right to the basket. To Leonard. Kyle Kuzma rejects it.
You know why? I don't see anybody on the defensive end standing up out of position. I see everybody squatted down, really active with their hands. That's the mentality that will lead you to where you want to go.
Oh, the touch at the rim. Count it.
Might have had an extra dribble or 2 there, but he got the shot he wanted.
To George. And a whistle.
He took a chance.
I thought I
That's the
didn't
right call.
feel that. Get away with it.
Time for some new personnel into the game.
Number 23, Louis Williams.
Paul George. Nice pace, sets it up, and slams it down. Jay, let's see if that's a sign for him.
Well, he's been pretty much non-existent the first 3 quarters, but when you have a play like that, that can get the juices going, and that can help you with your offensive rhythm.
That's his first personal foul. Team foul.
Kyle Kuzma is going to get 3 shots here. A career 70% free throw shooter.
That's where he's getting it from.
And hits the first free throw.
He says, listen, I see your works. That's great, but they're not perfect. Why? Because there's no faith. How do we know that? Because the fucking James.
Second and 3 is good.
Our works will be perfect. Our faith is made perfect through the Alphas, the others. Faith is made perfect by your works, and your works are made perfect.
Knocks down all 3 at the line.
Faith is
to Paul George. Here's Leonard for two. Count the basket.
Ooh, cool, calm, and collective. The 3 C's. His handles are effortless.
James into the front court. His guys leading by 14. The pass taken away by the Clippers.
You go back to the principles, things that we started working on when we were in 1st and 2nd grade. It's called the shell drill. You stay down in the stance defensively, you try to deny the next pass away, and you have to communicate. If your conditioning is bad, you have no chance. But if you're able to do all these things together, collectively, you will be able to stop a great passing team.
A born-again believer has a relationship with the living God. It's a personal relationship.
Paul George trying to cash in on a three-point play. A career 84% free throw shooter. One free throw good, so he converts on the three-point play. And the lead down to 11. It's James controlling the offense. And scores.
It's a strong finish. Regardless of contact, finishing strong is key.
Can't do that.
Timing was just a tad bit off.
Substitution being made in this one.
Team foul number 3. Los Angeles Lakers are in penalty. Into the game for LA. Number 5, Montrezl.
Kawhi Leonard cashes in. Someone has to get into a zip code.
So deadly. Now look, part of that is God-given talent. But the other part is that ball speed combined with that handle, oh, that's off the charts. But he always finds a way to slow himself down right before he goes into that shot.
Kentavious Caldwell-Pope is going to get a chance at 3 here. For his career, 78% at the line. Knocks down the first. Second and 3, got it.
And it ain't a good thing. You know, I long for my new body. I long to see him face to face.
3 for 3. Nice. Clippers have the basketball. The crossover gets inside and the slam dunk. He's been a one-man show, but Jay, they're still down in this one.
He's their lone bright star, their only star tonight. Some other of the supporting cast members really need to step up.
Williams into the front court. The deficit now up to 12.
Oh, that's a
The
bump in the
draw
ass.
right to the basket. LeBron James snatching it out of the air. Bad pass there. Clippers have it. And a whistle.
That's just a blatant foul. Maybe he's trying to make a statement.
I know that's 51, 43. 41, 53.
First try at the line, no good.
He's coming out.
Knocks down the second after missing the first.
What about the text that says love fulfills the law?
Lakers ball.
When you're walking in love, you're already fulfilling
James
the law.
to Caldwell-Pope from long range. And it's Harrell who comes away with the rebound. Harkless to Williams for 3, and Lou Williams, he doesn't miss many of those. A wide open look for 3.
It's all about
36
creating
seconds.
space with the dribble. Once you have that gap, you can beat somebody in a variety of ways. He chose a dagger with the 3.
That's toughness right there. Physical inside, gets it to go.
You know, from a point guard perspective, one of the things that I learned when I played in the league was that the more I was willing to give the ball up, the harder other players were willing to run to their spots. The harder the bigs were running to the rim. The harder the three-point shooters were running to the three-point line because they knew they could be active recipients. And when they caught the ball, they knew exactly what to do with it.
And they call it.
Those cat-like hands almost got a steal.
Off the mark on the first free throw. Oh, he missed them both. Kawhi!
Oh, he just blocked that shot out of bounds.
Blocked me, man. He blocked me.
Quarter 3 at the buzzer. Third quarter comes to an end. The Lakers have the lead. It's Lakers ball as we start the fourth quarter. They have clearly been the better side so far. Jay, that's reflected on the scoreboard.
Well, the cardinal rule in the game of sport is whenever you go into the fourth quarter, it's 0-0. You have to play the game with the scoreboard saying 0-0. And if you can win that game by double digits, then you've done your job in the fourth.
So Leonard. And a whistle.
Welcome
Come
to
on,
New Age
Alex.
basketball.
Feel
Don't
me.
blow on me. That's a foul.
I'm done.
That's his second personal foul. Team foul number 1.
Leonard. And the rebound taken down by the Lakers. JaVale McGee to Danny Green. Won't go. He needs some luck on his side given how they're defending.
You know, Ed, everybody gives so much credit to the guy who contested the shot, but there's no way he's in that position without the communication of the backbone of the defense. When you have a guy back there who can block shots and tells you to apply more pressure, you know you're in a safe place.
And finishes strong.
That's the intensity you need to see. Whenever a player running back on defense after a dunk like that holds it inside of his forearm, it lets you know how hard he's dunked that basketball.
McGee powers it through.
This type of game needs to be celebrated. This is the type of culture that is fostered when you play with unselfish players. When you give up a little bit of yourself and you make your teammate look great, that's the difference between winning and losing. So when you see these guys smiling, when you see them giving each other high fives, that's because of the energy that was created from the pass. Pass is one of the most brilliant things we have in this game.
George. Cleans it up. Grabs his own miss and scores. Good concentration.
59.
Well, he finished strong because he was able to initiate the contact. When you initiate the contact first, you bounce off the defender, which balances you at the rim.
Kuzma to Cousins. Kyle Kuzma. And the rebound grabbed by the Clippers. To Harkless. Oh, he got there.
That's great hustle getting back on D.
Williams. Textbook defense.
And big-time coaching strategy by the staff right there, utilizing their bench, keeping fresh legs on that shooter consistently throughout the course of the game.
Williams across the timeline. His club staring up at an 8-point deficit. Shot from the lane won't go. Kuzma to James. Takes it right to the rim. A lot of contact there, but they say no foul.
You know, Ed, I'm down with guys having 35, 40, maybe 50 points in the game. But the one thing you look for in a defensive end, when there's a huddle after a guy has dropped multiple buckets on you in a row, and everybody's quiet, nobody stands up and says, yo, I got him, I'm going to stop him, you're in a worrisome place for your team.
Knocked loose. Lakers come up with it. Kuzma to Cousins. DeMarcus Cousins. He's now shooting 5 for 7.
Well, we got a chance to firsthand watch something be created. I think we just watched an epidemic of passing. I've never seen something like this before. It was so contagious, everybody started to do it, and it ultimately led to the other team's demise.
If that's an epidemic, sign me up. To George. Perfect feed to set up the basket.
And last year, it seemed like PG really had a difficult time finding that next level elite PG. No doubt about it. This year, he needs to be playoff P all day, every day.
Looks like both teams are making substitutions. James. Now that's a contest.
Great contest by the D, but I want to see the coaching staff call the same exact play the next possession. Get that offensive player the ball. Let him prove that it wasn't the D. It was more in his own head.
Danny Green to Cousins. Yes, and a foul. He'll have a chance at a three-point play.
So many times we get on the defender for quote-unquote letting the offensive player score on an and one. Sometimes there's a lucky bounce, but more often than not, it's the offensive player who makes the play happen despite the defender's best intentions.
Free throw up and good as they open things up to a 13-point lead. And the rebound taken in by Davis.
The game is won in the details. The team who has the most attention
Stuffs it down with authority.
Ooh, shows like this separate the good players from the great ones. The good players, they have good first halves, and then they fade to black in the second. The great players, they just sustain that kind of dynamic energy throughout the entire ball game.
It's good. If you don't stand in his way, he's going to make you pay.
There's only so many times you can hide from the truth. That was horrific defense. Just got to get it back on the next possession.
To Danny Green. Here's a chance from long range. Long Island zone. Danny Green with the three.
You know, from a point guard perspective, one of the things that I learned when I played in the league was that the more I was willing to give the ball up, the harder other players were willing to run to their spots. The harder the bigs were running to the rim. The harder the three-point shooters were running to the three-point line because they knew they could be active recipients. And when they caught the ball, they knew exactly what to do with it.
LeBron into the front court. His team on top by 13. And the bucket's good for DeMarcus.
You know, it reminds me out of a story a legendary coach once told me. He said, if you ever get in a fight, you're not going to hit somebody with an open hand, correct? You'll probably break a finger. But if you hit somebody with the fist, what is that? That's 5 fingers working collectively together as one. That's how you deliver a knockout punch, and that's what we're seeing tonight.
Now the Lakers going to use a timeout. High fives all around. This game is well in hand in the final minute. Mixing things up. Hockey line substitutions. Both teams making changes. Cousins gets it in the left corner. Beyond the arc for three. Dives for it. Not afraid to mix it up. Kyle Kuzma. Shot off the mark. Good defense. Straight on three. At the buzzer, the Lakers get the victory as they win this one handily. That does it. For my partner, Jay Williams, and our entire crew, I'm Ed.